Today's selection is a can't-miss series, so check it out and enjoy. Opening today's selection is the Turkish series, Hidden. The girl Jalian was born into a poor family living in a poor urban neighborhood. In the neighborhood with the heroine of the series lives her lover, good-natured guy Omer. Omer and Jalian have been dating for a long time and, in the future, dream to play a wedding. One day, the girl has to serve guests at a party in the house of the Tambay family. During the party, her partner is molested by the heir of the Tambay family. The drunken rich man decides to have sexual intercourse with the employee and gets a hard slap on the wrist. He does not want to forgive the temporary maid for her actions and begins to take revenge. Is this series interesting for you? The Oath. A very wealthy man named Hikmet is living out the last days of his life. He has a son, Amir, who is still unmarried and has no heirs. He leads a dissolute life and refuses to make any commitments. His father's only wish is for him to settle down and finally start a family. He has even found him a bride who is the daughter of his deceased acquaintance. He persuades her to marry, and since it was his last request, the girl agrees and vows to fulfill his covenant. Sisters' children. Two mothers and sisters whose lives and dreams are different from each other, Umran and Umi. They fall in love with the same man, but life has separated them on two different sides. Umran and her daughter Hayat live in a small village under the oppression of her husband, and Umi lives in Istanbul in luxury with her daughter Hayal. One day many years later, by a stroke of fate, the sisters collide again and the children of the two sisters also fall in love with the same young man, which leads to new unexpected events and settling scores for the past. Everywhere You Are. One day fate brings Kerem and Celine together, and their lives will never be the same from now on because love changes everything. Kerem prepares to move into a new house, settles in, and suddenly it turns out that his home is claimed by another person, a beautiful girl named Celine. It turns out that the young people have become victims of a swindler. They both took money and rented the house to two people. Kerem and Celine are stubborn, neither one wants to give up the house, believing he's the one who has the right to live there. Nobody knows. Ali lost his parents as a child. He and his younger brother Suleiman were taken to an orphanage. Ali discovers a unique ability to see in the dark. Special services take him under their wing to reveal his hidden talents even more. After that, Ali and Suleiman lose contact with each other. Having grown up, Ali searches for his brother. His search leads him to a small poor neighborhood, where on the first night, he is knocked at his door. First night, a young woman named Sebda knocks on his door, shaking in fear, and asks him to help her hide. Thus the paths of Ali and Sebda, who fell in love with each other at first sight, come together. The Raven. The love story of Kuzgun and Dila. Their fathers were policemen, working together. One day Dila's father decides to go to the dark side. He betrays his colleague. Yusuf Jabeji dies as a traitor, and his son and wife have to go to another country under a new identity. 20 years later, Kuzgun returns to his native land. He is filled with the desire for revenge and to clear his father's name. Cruel Istanbul. Aga Karachi is a tough manager of a huge logistics company. His beautiful wife, Senaiz, is an Istanbul lady with an unlimited bank account. Their son Cenk is sent to America to study and is eventually to become the head of one of the departments of his father's company. Aga Karachi takes part in the fate of his relatives, and so his nephew lives in his house, Nedim, confined to a wheelchair and injured under strange circumstances by falling from a roof. Aga, who had once made a promise to his brother to take care of his son, decides to marry Nedim and has even chosen a bride for him. Karachi invites the bride-to-be's family to live on the grounds of his mansion in his cabin, after which the girl from a humble family must meet the groom. Don't forget to write which series you will watch first. Love on Display. One day fate collides Kerem and Ice, after which their lives drastically change. Ice has an explosive and defiant character. She has two older brothers who constantly trying to discipline her, which they don't do very well. The girl was getting ready to get married, but just before the wedding she finds out that her fiancé is cheating on her with her best friend. Suddenly she meets Kerem on her way, and Aish is forced to slander him and forces him to marry her to get rid of her brother's oppression. And the adventurous adventures of young people forced to live together begin. Reunion. Aziz lived and grew up in Germany. At the age of 15, he returns to his native Turkey with his family. They have a large family holding company, which is run by handsome, charismatic, and serious family heir, Aziz. One day he meets Salih, who, after a turning point in his life, is searching for the truth and old, derelict things. He finds those to whom these things belonged and returns them to their owners. Thus, into the hands of Aziz falls an ancient clock, which as it turns out keeps many secrets of their family. Finding out the truth, Aziz meets Faride, the girl who has become the love of his life and with whom they share secrets. Wendy. One day in the life of the protagonist appears a young man in whom she immediately in love with. Between them erupts very irresistible feelings and passion. Soon she learns that this guy is from a feuding family. He once vowed to take revenge on her father at all costs. Now he's faced with a stark choice: find the love of his life or get even and put his heart at rest. But that wasn't the only obstacle to their happiness. Write in the comments what series you are most interested in.